Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPen.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. And after a brief hiatus, I had a broken laptop, couldn't do the show, but we're back for UFC Vegas 26, and we got a stacked lineup for you. We're first joined by one half of the main event, Michelle Waterson. I think this might be her only interview she does. I got her basically right when the fight was rumored. She confirmed it, a flyweight main event, which is really interesting against Marino Rodriguez. We kind of talk about how all this took place and whether or not she like what kind of went through her head when she got the offer, 5 rounds, main event, flyweight, and what she thinks a win over Rodriguez does for her. But really good chat with Michelle. We then are joined by Geoff Neal to preview his short notice fight against Neil Magny. A ton of short notice fights on this card, but this one is a phenomenal fight. I talked to Geoff about whether he got offered that main event spot. He said he never heard of that, but if he did, he would have needed a lot more time than 30-something days to do a 5 rounds because he was obviously he's been training, but it's a different kind of shape you got to be in to go 5 rounds. But Neil seems ready. This is the fight he wanted against Neil Magny, and he thinks he can get a good win here, finish him early, and get a big name next time out and kind of work his way up the welterweight ranks. We're then joined by Diego Ferreira to preview his short notice fight against Greg Gillespie. Just the theme of short notice fights continue. This is a very interesting fight. Obviously, Ferreira lost a split decision to Beneil Dariush, lost him out in February. He wanted a quick turnaround. Obviously, Gregor was supposed to fight Brad Riddell. That fight got canceled, and then steps in Diego Ferreira just a couple of weeks later against Greg Gillespie. This is a big test for, obviously, Diego. If he can stop the takedowns of Gregor and get a win, this would be a big win for him. Gregor's a big name in this division, has a lot of hype, hasn't fought since he got knocked out by Kevin Lee. If he can get a win over Ferreira, that's going to do a lot for him and kind of work his way into the top 10. We're then joined by Patchy Mix to preview his Bellator 258 fight against Albert Morales. Albert's a guy that was in the UFC, picked up a win over in the UFC, but he's kind of had mixed results since then. But this is a guy that Patrick says he was offered 3 or 4 different opponents. He said yes to all of them. This is the guy that finally said yes to him. But most of the chat was on about James Gallagher pulling out and whether or not he still wants that fight. Patchy's not happy with James Gallagher. He kind of always knew Gallagher was going to pull out, so he wasn't surprised when he got the news. And we close things out talking with Maurice Greene to preview his fight against Marcos Rogério de Lima. Really intriguing fight. Obviously, Greene coming off that knockout loss to Greg Hardy. This could be do or die for him in the UFC. He's kind of had mixed results, but this is a big fight for him. He thinks he can go out there and finish De Lima, and he thinks he can go submit him. He thinks De Lima's going to shoot a bad shot, and he's going to grab hold of his neck and submit him, which would be really interesting if he submits him, because everyone kind of thinks if he's going to win, it's going to be by knockout. But really good chat with the Crochet boss, but a really good episode. Hope you all enjoy. Thanks for listening. Be sure to share. So tune in next week for a stacked UFC 262 lineup that I just finished all those interviews. It's a really good lineup, but thank you all for listening and have a good day. Yeah. All right. We're joined by UFC strawweight Michelle Waterson, who's taking a quick short notice fight here. Michelle, how's it going?
I'm wonderful. Excited, filled with energy.
Obviously, the May 8th card was supposed to be Dillashaw Sandhagen. Then what? Tuesday night comes out, that fight's off, and all of a sudden you're stepping up for another short notice main event. Like, can you kind of take me through these past 48 hours? Like, what's kind of this past 2 days been like for you?
It's been insane. It really has. But I think with every fight that I've had throughout my entire fight career, there's always a lesson to be learned. And the lesson that I'm taking away from this fight from the jump is that I just realized, in life, there's always going to be opportunities that present itself. It's kind of like that game where you're flying under it and you can eat the fruit if they come down. But are you ready for those opportunities when they present themselves? I was supposed to fight. I wasn't supposed to fight. It fell through. I didn't have a date. And then I got this opportunity on Monday, and it's not something that we had to do. But I don't ever think you should take a fight because you have to. I think you should take a fight because you want to. And I wanted to. I was excited for the challenge. I was excited for the opportunity to step up to the plate, go into Vegas, 5 rounds, 125. Let's go.
It's at 125?
Yeah.
Is that just because of the short notice you don't want to cut down to 115?
I could cut it. I do think it's because of short notice. You know what I mean? If I had to, I would, but that's not what they asked me for. They asked me for 125, and I talked to my husband about it. I talked to my about it, and that's what they asked for. So we said, let's go.
Sorry. With this fight, like 5 rounds, you see a lot of people short notice that only accept 3 rounds. Like, is this something that you just wanted that 5 rounds?
Well, it's main event. Like you don't like with it's a responsibility as a main event to bring the show home. You know what I mean? In my opinion, 5 rounds suits me. I get stronger as the rounds go on. I train here at altitude, and I train for 5 rounds every fight.
Marina Rodriguez, is someone you had your eye on, or is it just who the UFC offered you for this short notice fight?
For sure, I was supposed to fight Ribas in January. That ended up not happening. And then Rodriguez stepped in to fight her. She had a great performance up against her, and I thought that was good, a great matchup considering what had happened in that fight.
Obviously, you were supposed to fight in January. Like, how disappointing was it that you couldn't fight there, especially on that big card? But silver lining is now you can take this fight and be another main event.
It is disappointing, but that's life. There are things that happen in life that are outside of your control, and you just have to understand how to roll with the punches, stay positive, take it as as a stepping stone towards your ultimate goal.
With Marina Rodriguez, obviously, you were supposed to fight Amanda, so you obviously studied her well. Like, what do you make of her win over Amanda? Because it was obviously a very good performance, knocking Amanda out.
For sure, I thought that Ribas had the right idea going into the fight in taking Rodriguez down. I do think that her ground game is better than Rodriguez's, but I think she was a little bit lazy going in for those shots, and she paid for it, and it's a lesson learned. She's still making her way through the UFC, and it's the hardest way to learn, but that sometimes you have to learn in front of when you're fighting. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Your last fight against Angela Hill was that you guys got bumped up short notice to 5 rounds. Like, how much do you look back on that fight and see kind of how you have to go about this fight, going 5 rounds on short notice again?
I have made the mistake in the past to compare my previous fights to the fights that were getting ready to happen, and you just can't. Every fight's different, every fighter's different, every moment's different. But I do definitely pull confidence from that fight, knowing that I stepped up a week before to do a 5-round fight, and was able to go all 5 rounds, win fight of the night, push the pace, and win the fight.
Have you been on Twitter? Because it seems like some people really like this fight. Some people are a bit disappointed just because they lost Dillashaw Sandhagen. Like, or do you not really pay any attention? Do you not pay any attention to that?
I don't pay attention to it, but the truth is I'm sad too, like these fighters, they put their heart and soul into their fight camps, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes there are rounds that happen in fight camp that are more entertaining than the actual fight, because you're preparing for war. And that's just the unfortunate circumstances of it all. I am, don't hate the play, hate the game is what I tell you. It wasn't I wasn't the one that called the UFC. I had no idea what had happened to Dillashaw. They just gave me the call, and I accepted the challenge.
Obviously, you're ranked 9, she's ranked 6. Like, so is this kind of that perfect fight for you because you got another shot at breaking into that top 5 with the win here?
Absolutely. Every time I step into the octagon, it's me working my way back up to the top so that I can fight for that belt.
But you are obviously, Marina's a really good striker. You're a good striker yourself. Is that kind of how you see this fight playing out? Is like kind of a kickboxing fight, or would you be surprised if it hits the mat at some point?
It can be. I feel comfortable in all aspects of it, honestly. We both are really good strikers. But I also, have been fighting for over 12 years. My game has evolved and developed. I'm a full MMA fighter now. I have great wrestling. I have great jiu-jitsu. I have great cage control and awareness. So I think I'm dangerous in all aspects.
How do you see this fight playing out? Because I think this is actually going to be a really entertaining fight.
I see it happening all sorts of different ways. It's one of those things that you really can't force. And it's so last minute that it is kind of going to be just both of us going in there. It's going to be a fight. That's what it is. Like not enough time to really to game plan. We go in there and we showcase our skills.
Obviously, with the fight being a flyweight, like what's fight week going to be like? Because it's not going to be focused on cutting weight anymore.
which is great, right? Because it is a last minute fight, so I don't have to worry about cutting weight, and more of my focus can be on drilling and winning the fight.
With the strawweight division, we obviously just saw Rose become the new champ. Like, what you make of that performance? Because she got wheelie out of there quick, which surprised a lot of people.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it even surprised her, but she was prepared. She was prepared for whatever, however it was going to go, and that's why she won, because she was prepared for whatever, whether it was going to be a 5 round war or a first round knockout. I'm incredibly happy for Rose. I think that when she is mentally there, she's freaking on point. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy for her, and I know, and I feel for Wei Li, because it has to be really frustrating to have trained so long for a championship fight and to not have the ability to showcase your skills because of something that happens like that. I've been there, and it's kind of like it happens so fast. It's not even really painful. I mean, it hurts your heart more than it hurts you physically, and it's just kind of like, dang, I didn't even get a chance. You know what I mean? So I feel for Wei Li in that aspect.
What's it like for you to be able to headline another UFC show? What's this, 4? I think it is for you, 4 or 5, something like that. Like, you've headlined quite a few.
It will be my fourth one, and I'm really excited, and I'm glad that the UFC has faith in me, to bring the audience in, and it's really exciting. I can't, I'm on cloud nine here. I just, received the news on Monday, and I haven't been able to contain my butterflies, so I'm just kind of letting them roam free right now.
What's like training camp, sort of like training camp, like in like Codate, like what's that kind of like for you? Because it's not a whole lot of time to prepare.
Not at all, but it is what it is. Like, the truth is, I've been fighting for 20, or I've been doing martial arts for over 25 years. I've been fighting professionally for 12 years. I mean, if that's not enough training, then it'd be like me cramming for a test. I have all the skills and abilities to step in and fight, and I just have to trust my natural abilities.
What's kind of the goal for you this year? Like, where do you kind of see yourself at the end of the year if everything goes your way?
By the end of the year, I hope that I'm a contender for the belt.
With Marina being 6, like, do you think a win here gets you one of those top 5 girls? Whether it's like a Mackenzie Dern, like you obviously have the Jan and Esparza fight coming up. Like, there's some big strawweight fights that just happened or coming up.
Yeah, I got my eyes on all of those, but definitely not looking ahead. Marina's not one to overlook. Anytime you overlook the person that's right in front of you is when you're sleeping on them yourself.
Do you think a lot of people overlook the strawweight division, like a lot of fans? Because I think strawweight division's one of the best divisions, but it just doesn't get talked about because you guys are the smallest in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I might be biased, but I don't think so, man. The freaking strawweights bring it every time, and it's not just like technical.
Yeah.
Weights are super technical because you have to be. You're small. You have to be technical. But we got knockouts. We got slams. You know what I mean? Like, across the board. Andrade was a beast. That when she fought Rose Namajunas with that freaking Hulk smash slam, and then here Rose comes with the head kick knockout. The war between Wade Lee and Joanna. The war between me and Angela Hill. Like, the list goes on and on. It's a stacked division, and it's entertaining. And I might be biased, like I said, but if you don't watch the strawweight division, something's wrong with you.
Just last thing, obviously, I know you like to be pretty active, like, and it shows when you're taking these short notice fights. Like, everything goes your way here. Like, when would that time period be? Like, you hoping to get at least 2 more in, get 3 fights in this year?
I'm not looking ahead, honestly. I'm really excited about this. It's a huge opportunity, but I have to focus. I have to take, the focus that I would put into an 8-week camp and cram it into, a 2-week, 1.5-week camp. And so all my energy is on this one fight, and I'm not thinking about anything else.
All right, well, Michelle, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
All right, we're joined by UFC welterweight Geoff Neal, who's took a short notice fight against Neil Magny. Jeff, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Obviously, this fight kind of came together so last minute. Like, what was it, 2 weeks notice? If that, like, when did you find out about this fight?
About a month ago. Well, yeah, going on a month. It was like I found out like at least like 35 days before the actual fight. So I mean, it's pretty good time. Like, you know what I mean? A month to 2 months is like ideal. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could be ready for a fight in that time period.
And Neil Magny, you guys have been booked before, so did it kind of help that although you only have a month, you've already spent some time working on him and studying him?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I really didn't need to like, you know what I mean? It's pretty much we just went back from the same formula that I was using to get ready for him the first time. So, you know what I mean? Like same training partners, same style that my training partners already they worked on to kind of emulate his style. So yeah, everything just went back on right back on the train.
Obviously, in between, you guys were booked. You lost to Wonderboy. He lost to Chiesa. What you kind of take away from his performance against Michael?
I don't know. I take away from that. I'd take away something from Michael. Like he's better than I thought he was. You know what I mean? He was actually doing pretty well on the stand up. It granted his stand up wasn't like great, but he was able to hold his own and like still get the best of him in some striking exchanges. And his wrestling's way better. I didn't think that him coming up to 170, he was really that strong and would be able to like handle another welterweight like the way he did. So I was impressed by that from him. And I feel like this Neil just didn't get going. He had a good third round in that fight, and for some reason he just couldn't replicate that third round into the final 2 rounds.
And obviously, your last fight, a tough one against Wonderboy, who's one of the best strikers. Like, how much do you learn from that fight? Just kind of going up against his style because he's a tough guy to fight.
I learned a lot. You know, he showed me a whole new level. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody that can keep going for 5 rounds straight. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel like he slowed down at all that whole 5 round fight. You know, and it was a different experience. You know, like I don't know. I really can't tell you too much about that. You know, like I wasn't really there all the way mentally in the first place, but I learned a lot. You know what I mean? And especially looking back at the fight and just seeing how he handled it. You know what I mean? I pretty much fought a champion. You know, like even though he lost to Tyrone Woodley twice, I still think he's a champion, and he will get the belt soon.
And obviously, you didn't have Safe in your corner because I think he tested positive. So, like, how difficult was that not having to Safe? Because Safe's been in your corner for what, probably majority of your fights?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was different. You know what I mean? Like going into the fight, I didn't think about it. I wasn't thinking like, oh man, I need Safe here. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't nothing weighing on my mind that I needed him. But like, you know what I mean? Looking back in the fights and like the lulls that I had, like where I wasn't really just like focused. I know if I had him in my corner, he would have snapped me back into my focus. You know what I mean? I didn't really start to come alive until like the final 2 rounds. So if you'd have been there like the whole time, I would have been alive from the jump.
And after the loss to Wonderboy, like, was this kind of the time frame you were hoping for, or did you think you were going to get a bit sooner than this?
No, this is the time frame. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I would have liked to get one sooner, but you know what I mean? I still needed to reassess and bounce back from the sepsis thing. You know what I mean? Maybe I wasn't 100% going into one boy fight, or you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of health things that I needed to address, so I've been addressing that, and right now is the perfect time.
Are you a bit disappointed the fight isn't a week later, so you could be fighting in front of a full crowd in Texas?
Yeah, I mean, disappointed, not disappointed. A fight's a fight, but I cannot wait to fight in front of the fans again. I can't wait. Like that. That's such a. I don't know. It's more fun, more excitement. Like you know what I mean. Like I like feeling that anxiety, that pressure that you get when there's like a whole bunch of people like yelling and screaming. Like I love that feeling. You know what I mean? When I fought Warner Boy, it was kind of just like okay, I guess I'm going out here to fight. You know what I mean? It was different, you know, but fighting in front of a whole bunch of fans screaming and yelling and it's a great feeling, and I want that again.
Obviously, you have your teammate Diego Ferreira on the card who took a short notice fight, probably around the same time frame as you. So, like,
Yeah,
how big has that been? Obviously, having him in the training room preparing for that same date.
it's good. You know what I mean? This keeps us keeps everything. You know what I mean? Like you know, you're not going to war alone. You know what I mean? And we're going to be both there in Vegas, and we're going to be training together, working together, and just keeping the morale up for each other until we get to the fight.
Obviously, Neil Magny's a long, rangy striker. Like I think he has like a 5-inch reach advantage on you or something like that. It's 4 or 5. But how
Something like
important do you think that Wonder Boy fight will be? Just because you kind of learned how to get inside and kind of limit that jab.
I mean, I've Wonder Boy is a whole different fight. You know what I mean? Like I think I had the same amount of reach as Wonder Boy, so it wasn't his reach or his length that was keeping me away. It was his movement. He was so fast and just able to get out of a position at any given moment and hit me if I kept on going too far. You know what I mean? So it was this that was a whole different fight. You know what I mean? Neal's long. He has pretty decent footwork, but it'll be a different type of. I'm gonna have to take a different approach to get inside Neal than the approach I tried to take with Wonderboy.
How do you see his fight playing out? Because before Neal, like where he had that layoff, like people were questioning his chin. Then he came back and he was taking a lot of these big shots, and he hasn't been finished. And he's been like in these kind of really good striking fights. Like, how do you see his fight playing out?
As far as like chin's concerned, you know what I mean? Anybody can get knocked out. You know, like your chin, you have a great chin and get slept in the first round in 10, 20 seconds. That doesn't really mean anything, you know. But you know, I go every time I fight, I go for the finish. You know what I mean? First, second round, that's when I want to ideally get the job done. But if that doesn't happen, it's gonna be a 3-round grind. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to withstand this cardio, withstand this pressure, and pull out the dub. But the goal is to knock him out in the first and second.
You're about a -200 favorite. Does that surprise you, or do you kind of think he'd be the favorite in this one?
I've literally been a favorite in all my fights. I was a favorite going into the Wonderboy fight. Like, so it doesn't surprise me. It's normal.
Obviously, Dillashaw Sandhagen was supposed to headline. When that fight fell out, was there any talk of you two headlining? Because I thought that would be the logical move, just bumping you guys up to the main event.
Nobody ever gave me a call about that. You know what I mean? And had they did it, I would have. For a 5-round main event, like, you know what I mean, I'm gonna leave a little bit more than 30 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be honest, like, especially with Neal, he's known for his cardio. He trains in elevation. Like, nah, like, give me about 1 more month and then I'll be ready for that 5-round one.
Well, obviously, that's something I want to touch on. Is Neal's known for his like pace and pressure. Like,
Yeah.
How do you kind of deal with that? And like, what do you kind of do in training to kind of deal with that?
Just keep my pace. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta make sure, like, you know what I mean. The training partners I go, they've been putting pressure on me this whole camp. So you know what I mean. I've had to find my pace and be able to keep my pace and like not diminish my pace just because I'm being pressured the whole time. You know, like I'm an aggressive fighter, so I got been doing a lot of aggressive things the way I can keep that aggression going for 3 rounds straight.
Oh, welterweight division, like one of the deepest. Like, what do you think a win over Neal does for you and puts you in the division?
No clue. He's ranked number 9. I think I'm 10 now. Maybe I'm 10 now. Maybe it puts me at depending on how I get it done. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a decision, then I'm just gonna be 9. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have to like fish for another fight. But like, if I do something and I just like do something amazing and just starch him in the first round and like, you know what I mean, everybody's talking about it, then my ranking will jump up and then I could probably get a bigger fight, you know. So I'm looking to do that, you know, like, because that's what I need to do at this point. I don't like decisions. Decisions are boring. Nobody wants to see those, you know, at the end of the day. And the exciting, the finishes is what people want to see, and that's what gets you the big name fights and the money.
What do you make of the welterweight division? Because obviously Usman's kind of complained about it. He's out there being active, and a lot of the top guys aren't fighting. Like Colby hasn't fought. He's fought like twice in the past 2 years. Leon finally just fought. Like Thompson, he fights but once a year, and then he always gets that hand always hacks up, and he has to take a layoff. Like It seems like Usman wants to be active, but a lot of the top contenders aren't fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's real. A lot of them aren't. You know what I mean? As far as like the Wonder Boy is saying, like Wonder Boy wants to fight. Like Wonder Boy is one of the ones like he took 2 fights behind him in the rankings. You know what I mean? Like 2 dudes that were like ranked number 11. Like none of those other dudes would do some shit like that. You know, and Usman's right. These dudes want to fight and they just want to pick. But I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? You want to make money and then you don't want to lose a fight and then you have to bounce back. It's a tough thing to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, I say fucking fight. Like, you know, like you're here to fight, you know what I mean? Don't hold up the rankings, you know, but like there's logical fights that aren't happening and I don't understand why they're not happening. Like there's like match this person up with this person with this person, and then that will be see who fights for the title. But it's just not happening that way, and it's kind of frustrating.
Is it frustrating to see Nate Diaz out of nowhere just come and get what Leon I think is ranked 2 or 3 in the division? Like he just kind of gets what he wants.
It is what it is. You know, when you have that name and you have that clout, you get those things. I guess, you know, I don't agree with it, but I can't hate on it. He got it. You know what I mean? If I was in the same position, I'll take the same fight. So whatever.
I'm not sure you saw, but Usman's now saying he wants June and he thinks Michael Chiesa is going to be next. What do you kind of think of that?
I mean, makes sense. Just like, well, besides like Kobe not fighting Kobe, like I don't know. I think that's like a personal vendetta. He just don't want to fight Kobe because he feels like Kobe don't deserve it. Because I think he has like a fuck Kobe Covington mindset right now. Everybody else is booked, you know, and Chiesa's the only one, and he has the longest win streak, like he said. So it makes sense in a way. but I feel like he should fucking fight Wonder Boy. You know what I mean? Wonder Boy, or fucking wait for the Leon fight or something. There's so many other people he could have fought. You know what I mean? And we'll see. Like, see how good Chiesa really is.
I've kind of looking at the division. Like after this fight, I kind of think you're going to be in this weird spot where, because you have Edwards fighting the week after, you have Thompson Burns coming up in the summer, and I think both them, whoever wins, are going to be calling for a title shot. Colby's going to be fighting for calling for a title shot. So the top like three are all going to think they're going to get a title shot, and none of them are going to want to fight again.
Nope, they're going to be just sitting there chilling. You know what I mean? I'm probably like, I don't know. I'm just going to get through this fight with Neal, and then we'll see where I'm at and what's the landscape of the division in the next few months, and go from there.
Just a few more things. Usman's knockout, what you kind of make of that? Because I think that surprised everyone. I thought Usman was going to win. I actually thought he was going to finish Maslov. I thought he was going to submit him. I didn't expect him to knock him out.
Yeah, I don't know. That night, like, I just knew something crazy was going to happen, and like that was wild. I didn't know he was going to knock him out like that. Like, and that was such a hard punch. You seen like the sweat or the fucking waterfall fly off of or his man. That was crazy. It was a solid shot. Came out of nowhere.
And obviously, your teammate Uriah Hall was on that card. Like, how disappointing was that? Just because that was such a big fight for him, and he's had a hard time getting these big fights, and then it ends up with that.
Yeah, he didn't. It's disappointing because he didn't get a chance to perform. You know what I mean? Like to show people the Uriah that we see every day in the gym. You know, like he's had these like lulls in his career where he's just like really good, and then something happens like mentally, and then. But like the person that I see in the gym is, I'm like, I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, if you fight like that all the time, you're going to be a champion. Like you're going to take that belt from Adesanya, or who has a belt still Adesanya. I'm thinking about when he fought Jan. I'm like, he don't have the belt no more, but he's still the champion of the middleweight division. So like, I really feel like if he puts that fighter that I have to deal with on a daily basis at the gym and into a fight for the championship, like he's going to win it.
And the thing with Uriah is, like, if he goes out there and knocks out Weidman in the first, second round, people are going to be calling for him to get a top 5 guy. But this way, it's like he's probably going to have to fight someone right around him again.
Exactly. That's the bad thing about it, because I really believe he was going to knock Weidman out. I didn't see anything Weidman was going to do. Like, he was ready for that fight. So, like, it's really disappointing he didn't get to do that.
Well, what's kind of the morale at the gym right now? Because obviously you have that fight that was just disappointing. Like you've had Diego obviously lost his fight to Beneil, but you already you guys had that long winning streak. You guys suffered a bit of setbacks. Now you guys are all kind of climbing back up again.
I mean, the morale doesn't change. You know what I mean? Win or lose, we get back to the gym. You know what I mean? Like after fights on the weekend, you know what I mean? Our coach gives a little speech on Monday, and it's the same tone and the same vibe, whether or not somebody wins or lose. You know what I mean? He doesn't come in after like a good weekend where people win. He's like, all right, guys, we did a good job. You know what I mean? Take the day off and just relax. You know what I mean? He comes in fired up just like he would if 5 people lost on the weekend. You know, the fire is always there, and he keeps the train going uphill.
Who are the main guys you've been working with? I assume Uriah's probably already back in the gym. I assume you probably got to work with him. Span, who else?
Kennedy. So I haven't learned how to say his last name the right way, so I'm not going to fuck it up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those 3, and then I get a little work with other guys. You know what I mean? As far as grappling, you know, Ramiz, Zumar Archer. So it's the same training partner, the same stable. Nothing changed. Well,
Kennedy's win, that was massive. He was like this massive. He was one of the biggest underdogs on the card.
Woo, I know. That was so great. That was so great. I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? Like, because he's such a good fighter. Like, you know, like he's another one of those fighters. Like, I can't wait for people to see what I see in the gym in a fight. You know what I mean? He kind of was slow starting in that fight, but then he started to come alive.
Just last couple things is obviously everything goes your way here. Like, when's that ideal time frame? Or do you just kind of have to look to see how the division's kind of going, and you're not really sure when the next fight's going to be?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, what's my fights? May, June, July, maybe August. You know what I mean? I think August 28th is a Saturday, and that's my birthday, so I wouldn't mind fighting on my birthday.
Just got to get fans in the building for your next fight.
Oh yes, you know, my birthday, August 28th. Fans in the building, like that's great.
Just last thing, UFC always goes back to Texas. When they go back to Texas and you guys all walk out, like, what do you think that crowd's reaction is going to be like when a lot of the local guys are fighting?
I don't. I hope it's like just like Jacksonville, how crazy they were when the fights were going on. You know, like I'm going to be in there just to take in that energy. Like, I'm just so glad that the fans are back and everything's starting to get back to normal, because last year was a drag, and we need some excitement this year.
We'll just touch on that quickly. Like, are you surprised they never put your fight or Diego on that just a week later, just to have some Texas guys on that card?
I mean, because the card was kind of already set in stone. Like, you know what I mean? They already had like 15 fights when they announced that they were moving it to Houston. So it's like, you know what I mean? We're gonna kick people out and then put the Texas fighters in. You know what I mean? They could have added some, but I mean, I'm not tripping. I'm perfectly fine with the fight I got, where I got it, who I got. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna take it for what it is.
All right, well, Geoff, man, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for doing this.
No problem, brother.
Take that one.
All right, we're joined by UFC lightweight Diego Ferreira, who's making a quick turnaround or kind of a short notice fight against Gregor Gillespie. Diego, how's it going?
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Now, BJ Punkon, and it's a good turnaround. You know, my last fight was I was sure. You know, I came like under my bass, off my bass. You know, I was ready to fight. You know, we go by decision. You know, but the Rush took the decision, and I'm good to go again. You know, like and how I told everyone this year I want to be as much busy as I can. You know, I want to get to the one day to the title shot, and sitting down on my butt is not gonna happen. It's better. It's gonna be most important. Stay busy. Stay sharp, and be ready for those moments. You know, short notice fight. It's that's how I plan to make my comeback.
This fight got announced about a month out from the fight. Is that when you learned about this, or did you have a bit more notice? I know about a month.
No, I just learned about this like this week. Yeah, this week.
And when you got the call to fight Gregor, like, was it just an immediate yes to get back in there? Because you only had one fight in 2020. You only had one fight in 2019. Like, I assume you were going to try, or no, you had a couple in 2019. You had two, but only one in 2020. Like, I assume the goal is to be active this year. So was it an immediate yes when you got the call?
Oh, yes, always. Like, and I like always look up to to Greg now. Like, he's I stand the fighter now. Like he's always wrestler, and I've been always maybe one day we're gonna cross with each other. Now get to those moments, and the short notice call just make more exciting now. For my last fight, I don't have no injuries, no any bruise, anything. I was totally fine, and why not get back like in short notice on 3 weeks notice? Why not?
Obviously, Gregor Gillespie, you know his game plan. It's going to try to take you down. Like, so is the game plan for you just to stop it and try to strike with him, or would you be willing to go down to the ground and show him off your jiu-jitsu? Because you have really underrated jiu-jitsu.
To he can get through my legs, I think he have to go through my hands, you know, and I'm getting those two real sharp, and my jiu-jitsu is always in sharp. Don't think like I'm ready to fight, you know. I like to fight. I enjoy fighting. You know, I like competition. And after Gregory, he's a great fighter. You know, he's have one loss on his whole career, and I think it's gonna be a good fight, me and him. You know, he have his last loss. You know, by TKO. My last loss was by decision, and just get more excited because both come from loss. So let's see who's gonna win this one. You know, make an impress fight to all the fans, and especially like all his fans, all my fans want to see us getting the win and getting better in this way. It's not it's much better than to get a short notice fight.
How much do you look at his last fight? Because he hasn't fought since November 2019. Like, you don't really know what he's been working on. Obviously, he had the fight against Brad. That got canceled the day of the fight. But the last fight he's had is in November. So it's hard to really know how much his hands have improved or if it's still just all wrestling from him.
I know he's going to – the way I see this fight, I see he's going to get back 100% better than he was from his last fight. I know he makes some improvements. He been a year and a half sitting down. I believe he's not just doing nothing. I believe was fixing things around his skills. And when I'm getting inside for the cage, inside the octagon, for me, it's the most important. My on my mind is talking about me. He always gonna be better than me. My opponent is always gonna be better for me. Like that's what I have always have in the back of my mind, just to think about the opponent I have. I think he's gonna come back better than ever, and I expecting that. That's what I got this fight notice, and I think it was a great fight because both have wins, both have a loss, and this to get back to with a win is gonna be good, especially because I believe it. He gonna get back better than his last fight, and just put it at the great show I'm planning to do. I think that's the moment to turn around and get this win.
How do you see this fight playing out? Like, obviously, Gregor's only lost. He got knocked out. You have a lot of power, but if you get taken down, like, off the back, you can threaten a lot of submissions as well.
I like training jiu-jitsu. I like to really, work in my jiu-jitsu from my back. I attack a lot of submissions, but the way I look at this fight, I think he gonna try to stand a little bit more. Maybe he couldn't go for the takedowns because my last loss, I lost by really small decision, by one takedown. But the way I'm looking at this fight, I'm looking. I want to go throw balls to the walls. I want to fight. I want to get the same rhythm. I finished my 6 fights, strict 6 wins. And I want to get back on that. And I gotta throw everything to get this win. I gotta go for the ground if I have to go to the ground. If I have to defend the takedown, I gotta defend the takedown. If I have to put the power to knock him out, I will. But I don't see any just one way to win. I want to win in press. I know I'm just doing my job, and that's what I do every day. I want to win on the impressed way I can, and I don't see another way for me. I want to get what the best position I can to finish this fight.
That's the kind of what I want to touch on. Like, are you hoping, like, is the goal to finish them, to just add some hype behind your name, or is it just strictly just get your hand raised and you're not going to be like chasing anything?
I do it. It's good to always win with impress finish, but my point for right now, I'm just want to get the win. I want to get the streak wins back again, so I can really hit it to the top and press on the gas tank and move it forward. But exactly, this is still gonna be the focus. Get one more win to be on the top.
How important do you think this fight is? Because obviously you know how stacked lightweight is. Like, losing 2 in a row really sets you back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of most things. Like people, like all the fighters got scared. Like normally I just go on the flow. I enjoy the momentum. I think the pressure make me relax a lot more. When I don't have a pressure, I kind of stiff like too much. Like the fight with Arush was not pressure. I was just going for a fight. I don't have, but this fight is a lot of pressure on my shoulders. Especially because I'm getting through my dreams right now. Today I put a video in my social media, about my house getting ready. It's almost done, and just get me more hungry. It's a dream I was looking for my family, and in this is the moment. It is that time I need to be hungry than ever.
What do you think a win over Gregor does for you? Because he's obviously ranked 15, but a lot of people pegged him as like this future champion or future title challenger. Like, to me, I think you beat him like a top 10 guy should be next, like a Dan Hooker, like an Islam, like just someone, one of those top 10 guys that are without a fight. Because I know you want to be pretty active, so as soon as you get a win, it's going to be a quick turnaround and hopefully a top 10 guy.
That's what my plan right now. The way I was telling you, the pressure always make me better, and then I have the pressure now, and I really want another fight after this. Like I told in the beginning of my this year of the season, I want to stay as busy as I can, and I got to turn around. I want to get the top. I know Dan Hooker, Paul Felder, all those guys, been doing nothing, not doing nothing in the division. why not? If I pass through this, if I really gotta pass through this, I want to get a turnaround real quick, get the top 10 to the top 5. I don't care. I just want to get there and get to the top.
And then you have Geoff Neal and JP Bays on the card, also taking short notice fights. Like, what's kind of the atmosphere around the gym right now? Because obviously, it's you three taking these fights on like 3-4 weeks notice.
It's intense, like we all put in the work. We're hungry, 3 losses we have, our team, and we are dedicated right now. It gave me goosebumps just talking about it, because what I see from my team, they are hungry the same way I am, and I know they gonna do every single thing to really, get this time running, especially the short notice fight. Another great win for the team. It's just, the pressure. It's there. Inside the gym is the intensity always gonna stay on the mat, but we know what we have to do to get the win. We know our team, our coach, talking about, with us, how how important it is to get this win. For the next win, or like, especially because we come out short in the last fight, and it's intense, but it get me pumped. I don't know why. It got me like really excited because all 3 of us, we never fought on the same card. It's been a while. All team fighting, like the majority of the team, like four fighters, I think 3 fighters, and it's awesome. It's awesome feeling. But the gym is a real competitor, and we know how to deal with the situations, and we just gotta make the best of this. That's one of the most that we're looking right now, taking the best of the situation.
How much better do you think you're going to be this fight? Because I think a lot of people forgot about your last fight. That was your first fight in this like pandemic era thing where no crowd, like fight week's entirely different and all that. Like, is that going to be like now you know what fight week's like and you know what's fighting in front of no crowd is like?
Yeah, exactly. I think I felt a little bit, like if it took something, like took the little energy you when you jumping and you happy and you walking through the to the octagon, but on this one you don't have anything. It's just only you pump yourself up, your coach and your team, but it's not the same. But when you have the crowd, it's always a good help. But it made it a different. I really hope, like, when we get back to our crowd, like get a little bit more, like excited. I think that's the word we can use it too. Like excited just to see all the people to treat, like, to treat you right. Get the fist bump and walking through the cage. That's what I'm missing. I think that's what I want to back again on our events.
Just a couple more things is what's it like being on this card? Because even though it's a fight night, like this is a stacked card. Like, you have Dillashaw Sandhagen, you have yourself, you have Cowboy Cerrone, Diego Sanchez, like you have Geoff Neal. Like there's a ton of big names in this card, and I assume it's probably going to have a lot of eyeballs on it.
Yeah, I'm just happy, bro. Like it's so much, intensity just to see the card, because man, like it's gonna be a great fight from the bottom up. Like all the great fighters, and I'm excited. I can't wait, and just to thinking about this is gonna be the last one we're gonna be doing. I hope with no crowd. It just make me more like, okay, it's the last one. Let's do this. Get through this pandemic. All this kind of things leave behind, and let's do it. Let's get. I want to get to the at least get to the event. Have a good crowd, and I know I'm gonna get one of those again.
You get your hand raised here. Like, when's that ideal time frame? Like, maybe they throw you on that Connor card again. You could be on another McGregor pay-per-view.
Bro, if I can raise my hands as fast as I can, 2 months, a month, I'll be ready. Get my raise, and short notice or not, put in the book, and I don't care. I wanna get back as soon as I can.
And last thing, where do you kind of see yourself at the end of the year? Because I assume you have probably big goals with how many fights you want to have.
I do have like a big goals. I want to get to the top 10 or back to the top 10 on the at least in the between the year, the middle of the year. By the end of the year, top 5. Big dreams. Uh, I'm really hungry right now, and I just focus and to see where I gonna get it. Where I gonna get it, and just put in the work, put in the grind. And I always compete in jiu-jitsu too, and my team is always helping me out, and just make make me a better fighter to get over there.
All right, well, Diego, man, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for doing this. All right, we're joined by Bellator bantamweight Patchy Mix, who's still fighting on Friday at Bellator 258. Patchy, how's it going, man?
Going well. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Obviously, before we get into your fight, you're supposed to fight James Gallagher. We did an interview. You kind of hinted that you still weren't certain if he was going to make it to the fight. He ends up pulling out. Like, what was your kind of reaction when he pulled out of the fight?
I guess my reaction was just I kind of figured he would pull out. I didn't think he'd make it to a fight with me. I feel like he's probably been on seeing my Instagram, seeing some posts and stuff. I just think that he's kind of nervous, man. I didn't think he really wanted to fight with me.
And when he pulls out, like, what was the talks with Bellator? Is it keep me on this card, or I want this fight and rebook me to whenever he's available?
Well, they wanted to do. I believe James was like talking just nonsense about paying me out and wanting to like coming out of his own pocket or some shit. And I just thought it was ridiculous, man. I was like, I don't get paid to wait, man. Like, I'm trying to fight, I'm trying to get better, and I'm trying to like learn some more stuff about myself when I step inside that cage. So my main focus was just to I have a lot of family and friends coming to this, so my main focus is just I need to fight. I don't care. They offered me like 3 or 4 different opponents. I said yes to everyone. I just started telling my manager, you don't even have to ask me, I'll fight anyone. You tell me who it is. You just tell me who it is, I'll fight anybody.
How glad are you that the opponent is a guy like Albert Morales, a UFC vet that is well known, and not just some guy for the regional scenes that not many people know?
Yeah, it's just another face, man. I'm glad that he has the credentials and the record. I'm glad that he's been able to do great things in his career. I think he's a harder fight than James Gallagher, 100%. And I think has look at his the level of his competition compared to Gallagher. Gallagher fights tomato cans, man. Like he's never even. I think he's fought one guy was in the UFC years ago, and he was coming off a layoff for like 3 years or something. Like this guy here, man, he had 7 fights in the UFC. He's 2-0 in Bellator. He's fought the who's who. I think he fought Manny Bermudez, Benito Lopez,
Brett Johns, Thomas Almeida.
I mean, all these guys. He fought all these guys when they were undefeated as well. So I don't take him lightly, man.
Yeah, I was looking his final 3 fights in the UFC when he lost them all and got cut. It was Brett Johns, who was 13-0, Benito Lopez 8-0, and Manny Bermudez 11-0. Like he's fighting all these top prospects, and Brett Johns is a top contender in Bellator. Like those guys are still going in the UFC and still top guys.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like just his level of competition. I feel like I've even fought really good guys as well. So I feel like we have similar level of competition. But the one thing that stands out to me is that these guys were able to finish him, and I'm one of the best finishers in the game, man. And all those guys that you named, all the guys that we named, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm, if not on the same level or levels ahead of some of the guys that have been able to beat him.
Obviously, his last 5 losses, or out of his, so he's been finished in his last one. He got knocked out, submitted in his past 2, and then he had 2 decisions that he got knocked out as well. So he's a guy that can't get caught on the ground. So is that kind of how you see this fight playing out? Is you kind of taking him down and getting on his back like you normally do and tap him out?
No, I want to do some damage, man. I want to get on top and put some elbows down. I want to, I've been working so hard on my ground and pound, so hard on my control. I just recently switched from Jackson Wink Camp to, the Gym of the Year, Extreme Couture, man. That's the gym. I mean, this is just, I have so much more work. I have so many more coaches around me. It's crazy, man. It's like, I was, I fought for a world title, and I trained out of Six Guns Garage, and like the whole gym was riddled with COVID and stuff, from Jackson's. as well as, a lot of people departing and switching teams. So me to come to the Vegas now, being with Extreme Couture, I feel like my game is just so more well-rounded. I have so much more attention towards me. And I'm saying, like, with Jake Shields and Eric Nixick, is like, I can catch him on the feet. I can knock him out. I could hurt him with leg kicks. I could drop him with leg kicks. I could drop him with a body kick. Like, I have so many more weapons that people haven't seen. Like, this one on Friday night is going to be my coming out party because I tried to walk the champion down, but I didn't let my my everything fly. And now I have a whole different set of team and skills that, I feel I'm going to be able to take advantage of.
Obviously, Bellator's doing the no fans, but are you going to ask Bellator to keep you in the arena so you can watch that bantamweight title fight in person?
You're damn right, man. I'm trying to sit right there. I feel like I should be the number one contender still. I lost 3 rounds of 2 to the champion. And, like I said before, he's getting older and I'm, he's 33. I'm 20. I just turned 27 years old, man. I'm a baby in this game. So I want to just, I want to watch that, get back to it. My first step here is to finish Albert Morales. And then, I'll fight Gallagher in a month. You know what I mean? I'll fight him next month if they want. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to go out there, chase this guy down, finish him, and then I want to call Gallagher, call for Gallagher. Because chances are he might go running again, but he didn't luck out of this fight, man. I'm coming back. I'm circling back around. Even if I have to go around the entire track, I'm coming back to lap his ass because, we got unfinished business. And I put it together an amazing camp to whoop his ass, and he didn't show up.
Did you ever get an official reason from Bellator why Gallagher's out of the fight, or did they just say he's out?
My manager might have, but my manager just told me he was out, and then James had to put on a whole bunch of excuses. Like, I feel like James was like almost saying it was my fault that this fight isn't happening when he's the one that didn't even show up. He wants me to wait for him. It's like, man, if I wait till August, September, who's to say this guy's not going to pull out again? He's pulled out because he's had panic attacks. He's pulled out because he's been mentally weak. I mean, like, this, this shit, man, I'm all banged up too, like I did 3 months in Las Vegas. I train, like, I spar like 20 rounds a week. I roll like close to 50 rounds a week. Like, I'm banged up too, but I'm still making it to the show. I'm going to still make it to the walk unless it's like your ACL or some horrible injury where you can't actually physically do anything. So I don't know. He said he got, I think he hurt his shoulder or something. So I don't know. We all have seen the movie Step Brothers. We know, I don't know. He hurt his shoulder. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Obviously, that's still a fight you want, though, just because of the big name. And I honestly think you probably have a good chance of finishing him early. And then you only get more hype from that just because I don't know why he has such a big name. Maybe just because of the whole Connor effect, but he hasn't fought or like prove he's a top bantamweight yet.
He hasn't fought anyone, man. The only thing he's done is get knocked out in the first round by a guy that I finished in 1 minute. Like, if you really compare it, like, I think that they thought it was a good matchup. Like, maybe he thought it was a good matchup at first, and he took the fight thinking, okay, if I can get past Patchy's good on the ground. If I can get past him, because my ground game he thinks is slick, even though if I was in the gym, I'd probably submit him. Like, I'm telling you, I'd probably submit him 10 times just in the day just to do it to him. You know what I mean? Like, if I was in the same gym as him. So it's like, I feel like they thought it was a good fight, and then as it got closer, they're like, fuck this. We do not want to fight that guy. You know what I mean? Because skill for skill, if he would have shown up on Friday, that fight would have been, I would have mauled him. Like, it's not going to be close when we do fight.
Obviously, your whole game plan is go out there, finish Albert early, probably in the first round, I think, either by strikes or submission. But are you kind of worried if you do that, James won't want to fight you just because of how good you looked?
Yeah, man, I feel like if I go out there and do my job, this guy's just going to keep finding excuses. He's the one that said wait for him. And, I got a job to do. I'm trying to double up on my money right now. Like, I'm going to fight right now. I would fight him on May 21st right here in the Mohegan Sun on the Cyborg card if they wanted. Like, I'll fight him in June if they want. I'm planning on going out there. Like I said, as long as I'm not I don't get cut or, this is a crazy sport. So, like I said, I'm not taking Albert lightly. I'm planning on running through him because I need to get back to the belt. Like, it doesn't matter who is in front of me. It just matters that, you know, the date, because basically I'm going to bring my best self no matter what, if, you know, on May 7th.
With Albert, do you think you're going to submit him, or do you think you can knock him out?
I think I could do both. I feel like I have a lot of forward pressure. I feel like I can get him tired. He took this fight in 18 days notice. I've been training for 3 months, you know. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm going to have a healthy weight cut here, and basically I feel like I can pressure him and break him. Like, I have some of the meanest pressure. I feel like at bantamweight, and I spar, like, this whole camp I've been sparring lightweights and featherweights. So I feel like, you know, with my level of training, man, I feel like I could finish him anywhere. And that's credit to a lot of my training partners now, like Kobe the Don. We got Mads Burnell. He just fought in Bellator last month. He beat Sal Rogers. I've been sparring and rolling with Kevin Lee. I roll with Emil Meek. I roll with all these guys, man. They're huge. They're way bigger. You know what I mean? So it's like, the level of training, you know, with all these partners, Kai Kamaka, Boston Salmon, Puna, our whole Hawaiian top team over there. Like, we have so many good guys, and that's all I've been training with. Julian Arosa. There's just so many, like Gustavo Lopez, Cody Stamen, Marab. There's like, man, I train with so many great guys. Like, I don't even know if any of my rounds off aren't against, like, high level pros. Every one of my sparring sessions has been either a one UFC or Bellator, or just very high level partners. So I feel like I can beat him anywhere.
With James, if that fight ever happens, would you rather knock him out, or would you rather tap him out, just to kind of show how much better your ground game is?
I would rather knock him down to his ass, drop him the same way Ricky did, and then slowly finish that guy. Like, bring him to the mat, get on top of him. Like, this little bully treatment he does to these guys that don't know jiu-jitsu, I would flatten his hips. I would break him. I would make him go to his stomach, flatten his hips, and I would posture up over him and pound the shit out of him. I wouldn't even be, you know. I feel like I could submit him, though. I mean, I feel like after I whoop his ass, one day he'll probably want to train with me, and then I'll just whoop his ass again and again and again.
Do you honestly not think if you go out there, finish Albert in the first, like, you're going to be past James, and even a title shot or a rematch with Juan or Sergio if he wins would be next?
Yeah, that's interesting to me. To be honest with you, however this plays out, all I know is I got to go out there and finish Morales. If I do that in spectacular fashion, I see all these other guys, man. There's like a lot of decision guys on this card, man. They're winning by decision, man. I finish guys, man. Like, I'm exciting, and that's what they want for the title fight, you know. I feel like, like I said, me and Juan, now we can, you know, I think it was CBS Fight of the Year last year. Like I said, I stand by 3 rounds to 2. I don't know what judge was scoring 4-1, but 3 rounds to 2. 2 judges had that. That being a 3-round fight, I win that fight all day. So, it's a close fight, man. You know, now I got championship experience. I got into those 4th and 5th rounds. I know what I can do. I know I can take his power. He never wobbled me. He never took control of the center. Effective aggression, octagon control. Like, that's me. But I wasn't able to pinpoint my strikes. He was able to have effective striking. So, you know, more efficient striking, should I say. Like, each round he'd lay on, let's say, 10 more shots than me, or in the ones he won. So it's a matter of doing things a little bit differently. And now, being out of Extreme Couture, having so much more partners that are that high level, having so many, like, world-class coaches, I feel like when I do get past this guy and when I do finish him, whether Juan or Sergio win, I feel I can definitely rematch Juan for the title. Or I feel like if Sergio wins, then, you know, that's a clear path for me to get a title shot, because but I don't know if Sergio would take a fight against me either, so it'd be a little difficult to kind of see where it goes. But even if Juan had lost, I wouldn't even mind fighting Juan and getting that one back for a 3-round fight. Like, I just want that win back. Like, you know, I have an asterisk on my record to 25. You know, I should be 25-0 in my brain. And my preparation was a little off for that fight. So I'm thinking the only thing I can do better this time is control the way I prepare for it. And if I do that correctly, I think I could beat both of those guys.
I actually think if you don't get the title shot, fighting that winner, Darian Caldwell, Higo, coming out at the end, it make a lot of sense for you. And that would be like a clear-cut #1 contender.
Yeah, but I think that Caldwell, you know, he's got to do something, man. Like, you know, I feel you, but like at 35, he's got to do something. Like, if he wins against Higo, then I would say, yeah, he's right. Like, that dude just worked his way right back into the, you know what I mean, into the mix of the division. So I didn't even know him and Higo were even fighting, but that's exciting, man. I'm excited for that fight. Now that you say that, I think Darian Caldwell does very well in that fight, though. I think he can beat Higo.
Just last thing, obviously you're in quarantine out in Mohegan Sun. What are you doing to pass the time?
I'm just watching movies. Just hanging out, man. You know, pretty bored. I just got here a couple hours ago. I'm quarantined until not tomorrow, the next morning. So I'm gonna be just probably shadow boxing, man, envisioning the fight, calling all my friends and my family, FaceTime, and I'm driving them crazy for the next 30 hours, and then just hanging out. I mean, I brought my PlayStation. Maybe I'll play some I don't know, some 2K or something, man. I'll play some. I'm bored.
Are your coaches allowed in your room with you, or are they separate from you?
My coaches will be here tomorrow. They'll be in their own room, and they'll have to also quarantine. And then Jake Shields will be here on Tuesday, and he'll be quarantining in a separate room as well. So we all will be quarantined in the separate rooms until we get our COVID test back. And then when they come back negative, then we can all probably like link back up, I'm sure, or we'll all come to a room. So I'll come to like 2 people per room, so that Bellator's not just have, all these rooms for the week. It's probably expensive, I'm sure.
Actually, just one more thing is obviously you see the UFC doing all these fans. Like, what's it gonna be like for you when Bellator turns back to the sold out crowd and you make that walkout with fans again?
Man, it's gonna be amazing. Like, this is my second time fighting in the COVID. With COVID, and then before my last fight, I was in Japan in front of like 40,000 fans. So it's like I went from that to finally getting a title shot, finally being able to be like broadcasted. Man, I think my last fight, because there was no fans, we didn't even get like gear, or like there was no promotional stuff. So it's like my name was attached to a main event, and I didn't get any of the promotional stuff. I didn't get like a T-shirt with mine and Juan's, the whole thing. So I felt like, I'm excited to have that all back. I want the promotion. I want the people screaming. I want to feel that energy, because I thrive in it. I do so much better when there's fans. I'm not as tense or nervous. But this time, it's a good for me, I feel, because I want to write it. I want to write it differently. Like I fought without fans last time, and I feel like I didn't fire as well. I was nervous. So this time, I really, really want to take advantage of this opportunity and just calm it all down. Like, I don't want to go in there like angry, or like, I don't want to fight angry. I just want to fight smart, man. If I can fight smart, then I'm a motherfucker to deal with.
All right, well, Patchy, man, I appreciate the time. Thanks for doing this again.
Anytime, brother. I appreciate you. Big shout out to Extreme Couture, all my coaches, my team, Kobe the Dom, boy, helped me out. He's one of my real good teammates out there. He's coming up. He's about to be a pro at 125. He's going to come take over. And then big thank you to my family, everyone that basically holds it down for me when I'm gone. My mother, my kid's mother, my kid's grandparents, everyone that's around my daughter that helps me out, because I haven't been home in about 2 months. So it's been tough. So I'm excited. My daughter's birthday is on May 5th. I fight May 7th, and then we're coming home. I'm coming home to go throw our big ass birthday party, and I just can't wait to see my family. So thank you, man.
All right, we're joined by Maurice Greene, who's returning here pretty soon. Maurice, how's it going, man?
Oh man, I'm always doing awesome, brother. I can't complain.
Obviously, your last fight didn't go your way. Like, was this kind of the time frame you were looking, or were you hoping to return a lot sooner?
I wanted to take as much time as I could off, and really get comfortable and get to vibe with my coaches and figure out where I'm at and learn the new techniques they wanted to show me. So, this is right on track. It couldn't have been a better time for real.
That time off, obviously, how beneficial do you think that's going to be, where you could learn a lot of new things, and it's not just a fight into another fight camp, or you had several months to work?
So you think about my UFC career so far, it's been fast and furious. I've taken 7 fights in a little under 2 years, and it's the longest layoff in between fights I've ever had since I've been in the UFC. So I think it's great. I'm in the best shape of my life right now. I know I said it every fight, but I'm truly in the best shape. Putting the time in the gym by myself when nobody's looking, and finding my balance in life. It's really been moving to Albuquerque's been kind of humbling for me to where, I kind of just zone out in my life and everything. I have everything I need here for training. I don't have to go far for it. It's never been like this. I have as many training partners that I can ever wish for. You know what I mean?
How is the move out to Albuquerque and Jackson? Because there's a lot of good light heavyweights and heavyweights out there you can work with.
Move was great, man. I got the best training partners in the world, from light heavyweight to heavyweight. It doesn't get. You got the biggest guys, you got the mid guys, you got the small, you got shorter, stocky guys. I mean, you look at Juan Adams, and we got an amateur. His name was John Cunningham. He used to play for the Falcons, and that motherfucker's rough. He's learning and he's growing every day. So it's great to spar with him because he gives me looks that I don't see very often anymore because of the level of guys that I fight. More of a wild look. Where he's really trying to do the moves, but it's a great way for me to see other shit. If you only train one guy forever, how can you grow if you don't get different looks? We got a lot of different looks at Jackson Wink.
And your opponent here, Marcos Rogério de Lima, how much do you know about him? He's been in the UFC for a while, but he doesn't fight all that often. He's about 1 or 2 fights a year.
I know, he beat Ben Sassoli, and I watched that fight. And Ben's a tough motherfucker, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. This fight's not. I mean, I fight at the highest level, and whether I'm not at the highest of the highest level because that's your top 15, but the UFC is the NFL of what we do. So I don't take anybody lightly, man. All I can control is what I can control, and I don't let any of that other shit really get to me. It's gonna be a tough fight, like they all are. He's powerful, like they all are. He's short and stocky, like a lot of them are. The only difference is, he has really good jiu-jitsu, which I don't know if I've seen him. I know it's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, so he knows his way around the ground. And he's a Brazilian, so he's probably good at kickboxing or Thai boxing or whatever you want to call it. What do you fucking do?
I was looking because he's obviously a former light heavyweight. You're a lot bigger than him. You have a 7-inch reach advantage. How important do you think that's going to be? Where you could just jab him up and he can not even let him get inside.
He's gonna get inside. It happens. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, it's not boxing, right?
Yeah.
Boxing. He'll if he wants to get there, he'll get his ass in there. But I got something for his ass if you want to bring his ass inside. So it's up to him, man. It's up to him. I got something for him everywhere you want to go. What is that? What American Express say? I got something for everywhere. I'm everywhere you want to be. We'll see what's cracking.
How do you see his fight playing out? Because obviously you have a lot of knock power. He's a guy that when he gets finished, it's normally by submission. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised even if you do catch him in some kind of submission if he kind of just takes a bad shot on you.
I'm submitting him for sure. We go to the ground, I'm submitting him. Hey, listen, I'm submitting him.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. Ever since, I grappled with Alexei Olenek and fist off a bunch of, I am where I think I am, regardless of the belt that I wear in jiu-jitsu. So we go to the ground, he better be sharp, or I'm going to submit that ass. And I'm going to feel real good about it. I'm going to submit that ass. Trust me. Promise you that.
Do you think your ground game gets a lot underrated because of the way you kind of grew up with the kickboxing? Then people really only saw the Olenek fight, but Olenek, you were fending off a lot of submissions, or a lot of those guys would have been tapped out a lot sooner.
I mean, I threw up a triangle.
Yeah.
And he squeezed out of it, and I used that space to get to the fence and get my ass back to my feet. I know this game. I don't know everything. I'm a blue belt. I don't know everything, but I've been around the game for 10 years. I just been kind of slacking on being in my gi, and but yeah, they can play if they want to. Fucking end up sleeping.
Are you a bit disappointed you're not on one of those pay-per-views in front of fans? Because obviously this card's back the Apex in front of no one.
Like I told the last interview I did, my goal this year is to buy a house. I don't give a fuck if I'm on a pay-per-view or not. I'm not gonna make no more money for being on pay-per-view than I'll make for being the card I'm on now. So, and to be honest with you, I mean, be completely honest with you, I've learned to grow to enjoy that cage at the Apex and find my rhythm in the cage. I've figured out this camp that, you know, a lot of my, I'd be really good fight night, but a lot of my hesitation sometimes was getting in that little cage and looking on the other side of that cage and like, fuck, he's right there. That motherfucker right there, okay. You know, I've done something different this camp where I should have been doing for a long time. I put myself in that environment week after week after week to get used to. You know, it's going to be a hell of a fight. I promise you that. I promise you that. It's going to be a fight. Whether he wants to make it back and forth or he wants to go to sleep.
What do you think a win over Marcos does for you? You're a guy that you've been in the rankings before, and you fought a lot of those tough guys.
I try to, like, again, I can control what I can control. I don't care. I mean, I do care what it does for me, but that's not for me to decide. So I'm not going to worry about where I could be, what it could be, what's after. We're going to worry about the task at hand. That's May 8th, a little over a week. We're stepping in there. We got a job to do. And once we come out with the W, we'll go ahead and assess to see what the smartest move is moving forward.
Is the goal to be as active as possible so you can get as much money to buy that house?
The goal is to be, the goal is always to be as active as possible, but we got to be active with a purpose. You know, you can't just be active. You can't just be taking fights just to fight. I got to be active with a purpose, and the fights need to get me to the belt. That's kind of where I'm at. So. And when it's time to have that talk, I'll have that talk right now. We're just trying to get the fights to get me to the rankings. You know what I mean? One step at a time. We'll build this house brick by brick. So.
Just a few more things. Is Tough is coming back. You were obviously on the last season of Tough. What do you kind of make of it coming back?
Fucking think it's awesome. Two of my teammates are on the show. Shit. Fucking Gilbert Urbina, and Determined Dan. Danny's on the show with his whole mullet out.
Yeah.
Whole main mullet. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for these guys. I'm excited to, you know, I know a couple of the guys on the show, so it's, you know, and I know how stressful that can be, and I can only imagine how stressful it's going to be for those guys. You know, they're going to have to make weight. They're going to have to fucking make weight and cut weight, and so, you know, I just hope they're able to keep grounded, stay away from the bullshit, figure out an outlet, you know, and really be themselves. Because, you know, if you put yourself into a shell so the world can't see who you are, guess what? The world won't see who you are. I mean, when you go back and think about season 28 of Tough, who do you think about?
You would be one of the first guys everyone thinks about. Probably Macy, just because she won the women's season. Those would probably be the first two I'd think of.
Yeah, there you go. But that's just because they saw the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you know you didn't even get to see all the really good times. You know, I gave them the real me. I was in that bitch crying, smoking cigarettes, all that shit.
Just last thing, obviously the nickname, everyone sees there, the crochet boss. How's the crocheting going?
You know, I always crochet, man, but I've been making coasters. Lately, so I use my beer cans and I repurpose them and I make coasters. You know, if you watch Ultimate Fighter, you know I drink beer. Call me alcoholic if you want to, but I make the dopest coasters on the market right now. Your grandma can't even make doper coasters. What the Crochet Boss is making. And the beautiful part is, you know, I drink that. Whether it's a wine in a can or a beer in a can, anything in a can I'm about to drink for the cause of making the coaster, okay?
So the beer drinking is for your business. You're drinking the beer for the coasters. It's not because you want to. It's because you need to.
Yes, see, now we're on the same page. So guys, don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to give you a full service, nice coaster, you know, that you can show your friends in your man cave or your she shed. You know, you can't have a she shed or a man cave with some basic coasters. It's like having a VIP section with a basic bitch. You gotta have some bad bitches. I'm just saying. See.
All right. Well, Maurice, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for doing this, man.
No problem, Colton. You have a great day, man.
Yeah, have a good one.